What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at Blast Premier Fall Showdown for both NA and Europe. EPL went really badly. This is probably, well, maybe not in terms of season points, but at least in terms of how well my picks did in general. The worst event I've ever had, I would assume. Yeah, what can you say? Astralis were favorites and VP were favorites to make it at least a bit deeper. Roy was more of a punt. Didn't work out. The season is pretty much over in terms of placements or like getting season points. I'm just trying to get a top 3 finish in one of these events, and then we go again. I believe it's next year when the next season starts. So unfortunate that it has gone this badly, but you know, it's always a matter of both skill and luck, and you'd need a fair bit of luck to do well in these. But yeah, this is really bad. Let's start with NA. I'm doing a double episode here just because I wanted to release both of these anyways. I'm probably not gonna. I'm trying to keep it pretty short. General. If you go here, single L in brackets, so the format is very simple. You just pick the teams that you think are gonna do the best and make it to the grand finals here, and then one player out of these teams that are probably only gonna win one game and then get a lot of points from there. So if you go over teams, I would say Liquid are kind of the favorites here, but also they're probably playing with Daps instead of Rainwaker. At least that's what the reports say right now. And probably that's honestly just better for them. I actually think that makes them probably a bit stronger, especially against this NA opposition. I think they have more than enough firepower to beat teams like Forsaken, Imperial, and Party Astronauts. If I want to go for the punt tier option, Imperial is probably the team to go for. They have been pretty decent. You can see rank 16 actually in the world right now. But they're playing with Lucasi, and he's not the player we would like to see in this lineup if you're picking Imperial. Other side of the bracket, Call, EG, Furia, Legacy. A bit tougher to predict. I think Call, EG could go either way. Furia, Legacy can go either way. I would say Complexity are probably the favorites. They made playoffs in EPL, whereas Furia didn't, and Furia, well, they lost to Mouse, but still, I wouldn't be too confident. If I was like picking the cookie cutter lineup, probably Liquid, Complexity, and 1x Furia. But because we are kind of looking for higher upside, I'm probably gonna still go Liquid, because I do think this is gonna. I think some people are not gonna go Liquid just because of the way. I mean, they're of course the most big team, but still some people are probably doubting them because of Daps. But I actually think with Daps they might even do better. It's a bit punty, I know, but just depends on which players you want to go for. To me, Yekindar probably is a player who could do a lot better when he's not IGLing. Could go OC. Those are the kinds of players I'm looking at here. And then I'm probably just going to go Furia, because they are a bit underpicked, whereas Cole is a bit overpicked in my eyes. And then we still have players like Keichirado putting up a lot of good stats. Like if we go here, we can actually easily see the top players for their teams. I think Yuri Keiserado would be what I would like to go for, and then I would like to go in Liquid for like Yakindar OC, but I don't think I have the money for it. I don't think there's any way of doing it. I guess I should pick, I think Complexity EG is the matchup where I want to pick my last player from. It could be one of these cheap EG players. I've seen Volko have these kinds of performances where he can actually put up pretty good numbers. He's got a decent headshot percentage as well. I think that actually that's the kind of gamble I should probably be going for, even when Complexity did quite well. JT is like kind of the obvious pick, right? He's got very high pick rate. He always does well against these NA opposition. Maybe he just has an off game there. But I think, to me, Volko might be the like budget option I want to go for. If you look at Liquid stats lately, it's not looking that great, but I think there's a decent chance that they do well here. I want to go for double Furia. I know there's going to be a ton of double Furia pickers as well. I do think Caserado, by far the player I would most want in my lineup, even though he kind of trolled me in one of these earlier events. You could go Fallen, he's still AWPing, so he could get some impact. Cello is kind of an aggressive player. I think Cello probably makes the most sense. The question is just how do I go role-wise, because he would maybe rather have headshots than Volko. Probably going to be Patsy and Yakindar, or Patsy and OC maybe. I think this is probably the kind of lineup I want to go for. Just a matter of what I want to do with these roles. I guess we don't have an AWP yet, so OC makes a bit more sense due to that. Also, he's been doing pretty decent. If you look at last three, like they have been pretty much on par with Yakindar and OC. I think I would want to have Yakindar here, but I also don't mind having OC, and it's an easier role, so let's do this. Maybe I go IGL Cello actually, and then I just go like entry on Patsy. Probably entry is the better choice here. Entry still looking pretty decent. Noob actually. Quite high there. Main AWP. Now we can go headshots here instead of noob. I don't want to go noob here, and then we can go like multi or CT. CT rating actually better. Worked pretty good as well, but I would say in this kind of event I would rather go with defender. And that's pretty much the lineup. I'll throw some boosters on as well. Yeah. Go with that. Let's go with this here. Maybe I actually go like headshot machine later, because we only get 5, 10, 14 boosters used. That's one of the best ones. We want to use some of the best boosters here. Okay, I think Acerado should be decent. What is like the best Volko boosters? Like this is pretty good on you as well though. Assist makes some sense versus complexity as well. Bottom scorecard, of course, is like the safer option, but maybe I want to use it later. But then again, I can use it later. I will go with assist here, and then bottom scorecard later. Let's see. I guess we can go Avenger here. You do want to use some of the better boosters, just because of how many boosters you, even in the best case, get to use. So bait makes some sense. I guess cannon fodder as well, but it's just a matter of like, I think he's not gonna die as much in this. Best pistol, that makes a lot of sense here. Okay, and that's the lineup for NA. Quite a bit faster than I usually go in these, but I guess that's just how it's gonna be here. Then I'm gonna pull up this. So this is for Europe, right? Yeah, there's no saving needed, right? This is Europe. Most big players. These are teams. Prizes. I didn't actually click towards here yet. So the bracket, obvious favorites, ends here and G2 here. Cloud9, pretty good upset potential. I still think they have a lot of firepower. Of course, they have been underwhelming so far. There's some questions about Hobbit being removed later on, or I don't know, even for this. At least there's some rumors that Boomich would be coming in, which would be pretty weird to me. Big did quite well last event. 9 showing some signs of life, but not so convinced by them. I wouldn't be picking OG here, I don't think, even when it's a blast event. Movistar is not the worst gamble I've ever seen. Like, I could see Movistar upsetting Cloud9. It's just a matter of like, which gambles do you want to take on? I wouldn't go Hobbit now, especially if he's about to be removed. Hooksy makes, again, like just way too much sense in these kinds of games. At least I would have to say, if you're not going Hooksy, I think it makes more sense here than last event, just because I see OG as more of a capable team than it was Lin Vision, I think. So Hooksy could not be farming as much. I think C9 makes some sense. And like, I'm just trying to balance how much I want to gamble and how much I want to go for the obvious picks. I think I want to go Ents here. Just that their prices are so insane here. I do think I'm probably going to use Hooksy as well. So like Hooksy and then Cloud9. I want to have either Nerds or Sunpayus. Possibly Sunpayus here. I'll have Nerds for now, and then probably Snappy. Price, I still think he's one of the... Yeah, I mean, I still think that he has more potential to... He has pretty good potential upside, is what I'm trying to say. And then, like, Hobbit is just so inexpensive, but I'm not super happy with this kind of team. Could I go for non-C9? I could go for, like, Movistar. It's just that I don't even know who to pick from them. I wouldn't want to go for you. I wouldn't want to go for Alliance. What about 9 and Big? I just honestly don't want to go for 9 or Big. I do want to go for Ents, and I don't want to go for G2. I don't want to go OG, right? I mean, they have some very decent... Like, I could take on G2 with OG. These prices are just criminal, to be honest. You get, like, by far the best players if you go for OG. I'll take the OG gamble, honestly. Let's just go for it. I think Keto, maybe. Just for the headshots. And then we have, like, oh my god, how much money we have. If you go for this, you probably get to do this if you want. Just loading up on those big Ents players. Keto, there's no one... Oh my god, Minio is 169,000. I think Minio is better than Hooksy here. I didn't meant to do this. Could go Mopos. That price for Minio is actually kind of crazy. I think Mopos still makes more sense, at least for this wage, but money allocation as well. This is actually a pretty exciting team, in my opinion. Let's go for this. I'm pretty happy with this team, even though, of course, look, G2 are big favorites. Like, if we want to look at the bookies, what do bookies think of this? Like, yeah, like 6.3. But I think that's a fair gamble to take here, especially as we are mostly looking for like top X percentage results. So, headshot percentage, probably main AWP here, even though higher percentage-wise is Sunpayus, but we can probably expect better results from him in like these kinds of roles. I mean, IGL isn't the worst thing to do. I mean, it feels stupid, but isn't Mopos like an aggressive player? Not that aggressive. Decently aggressive, but not that. Okay, eco-friendly is pretty decent on him. Yeah, we can go eco-friendly. It's fine. Yeah, I was expecting that. Multifragger pretty good on nerds. Fender Camper actually pretty good on Sunpayus as well. Entry Fragger not too bad. Or IGL. I'll go with Camper here. Let's give it a chance. Camper roll. And then rolls. So we don't have IGL. I'm not sure what to do with this, but I think this makes sense every time. You can also use this later, of course. Pistol nerds, sure. KSD, Sunpayus, makes sense. Regali with Avenger, pretty likely. Let's go for that. So headshots makes usually sense. Let's go for that. There's no big headshot. Like Nico, of course, has crisp headshots, but I wouldn't expect Nico's headshots to be like that insane. Like the headshot percentage. Yeah, it's not like over 60 or anything. He's of course crisp, but also gets a lot of kills without headshots. And then I don't know what to do with Mopos. Assist. That makes sense. It's risky lineups, of course. Like, I'm very aware. I wouldn't suggest, if you're just looking to make like the best overall lineups, I wouldn't suggest something like this. But I do see OG upsetting G2 as an actual possibility. There's pieces in OG that can pop off. And if they do, I'm in a pretty good spot, because I do think that either Movistar or Cloud9 can be upset here. Whereas this side of the bracket, I do expect the Ents to make it to the finals. So yeah, if you enjoy this kind of content, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Usually I go more in depth about my picks, but this is such a weird weird event, last CSGO event, with any sort of notoriety. Also, just with the way my season has gone, with the kinds of teams we have, I think it's more about making informed gambles than about making the best lineup. But yeah, if you enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.